How's it going, everyone? This is Curry Puff. This is week 2 of the VBA, and we are against the Shadow Ducks this week. We're going to get started in a little bit, so I might cut some stuff from here, but in the off chance I won't, because I normally don't, because I'm lazy. I'm just going to do some quick calcs here, because I made this last Sunday because I didn't think I was going to have time, so we're going to just put in Cinderace here, because the Cinderace is going to be probably the bigger problem. We didn't care about outspeeding the whatchamacallit, the Inteleon, because we never outspeed the Inteleon. We need to outspeed the Cinderace. So I think it's about. Alright, so yeah, 100 HP, 4 defense. Dynamax, Max Fire. Oh, shoot, I never calced for the Airstream, huh? So let's do bounce. Ooh, bounce kills. Oh, I never calced for that. Let's do rock slide. Alright, we might be going Greedent. I don't know. I think the Hawlucha is just going to be kind of a bluff more than anything. Yeah, I think we're going to have to do Hawlucha as a bluff and not actually go with that as a Dynamax. I forgot to calc for bounce on Cinderace. Good thing I did that just now. If he doesn't bring Cinderace, then we'll be fine. But yeah, I mean that's a Life Orb Cinderace too. Adamant. If for whatever reason he is jolly, he still kills. So that's a huge risk. That is really risky. I did not. Oh, I'm an idiot. Alright, so we have to hope he didn't bring the Cinderace here. Let me just double check the calcs on this. Or the stats I'm calcing with. Yep, that's 100% the same calcs. Ooh, this is... So yeah, we're going to do Greedent, most likely. Belly Drum Greedent should be... I say should beat most of his team, but that's really a lie. It's Greedent, right? Greedent's not a great Pokemon. Greedent's kind of a mon that kind of very so I mean here's what I'm expecting, right? So his team is Cinderace, Whimsicott, which is what I would think would be his standard lead. I don't really have Fake Out besides the Indeedee female, and that's if I don't bring Psychic Terrain, which if I'm bringing Hawlucha, you're most likely going to see Psychic Terrain. So there's that. But Cinderace Whimsicott is what I'm assuming is going to be the most common lead. Inteleon, I can see, but with the Psychic Seed, I'll get a special defense boost. I should be fine, and we'll just double check that, just because I might have forgot to do Air Slash. So Inteleon G-Max, because we survived a G-Max Fireball. It's the Max Airstream that we're not going to survive. Oh yeah, I did that. I definitely didn't do that. So let's put Air Slash in here real quick while we have the chance. Alright, so we do live an Air Slash, so we'll be fine if this is the lead and we don't see the Cinderace, right? Let's just do Life Orb because it is faster no matter what. So yeah, we live regardless, so there is that. So if we see Inteleon, no Cinderace, we know that'll be fine. Why did I lose his team? Whatchamacallit? Okay, there we go. He has Lucario, has Cofagrigus, Rotom, Dragalge, Dugtrio, Pilosline, Garbodor, and it's a G-Max version, so he has 3 G-Maxes, and Pikachu. So I don't really expect the Pikachu coming, but it could, just because Nuzzle is a thing. It gets Fake Out. I don't really see Fake Out being really useful here, and if he does bring Whimsicott, I don't think it's going to have too much support in terms of helping with like weakening my team with like a fake Tears, which he could, which would hurt with the Inteleon matchup. So that is something that could possibly happen with the Hawlucha if we leave the Hawlucha. So the main team, I'm always going to be bringing Milotic and Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is something that I'm going to leave in pack, and the main Pokemon I need to beat if he does bring them is going to be the Cinderace and Lucario. Beyond Cinderace and Lucario, he has no other fire attack options. Dragalge it can hit hard and it gets fighting moves, but not having the 4 times weakness is going to be nice, on top of the fact that this is going to be a very defensive Ferrothorn, mainly specially defensive. So we're going to have that Leash Seed, we're going to have Curse, we're going to have Gyro Ball so we can get that slow speed, and we're going to have Protect for recovery with the leftovers. Really the only Pokemon I have that actually has Protect. Normally I do run Protect a little bit more often the past couple, or last week and this week. I'm not really running it. The ideal with my team right now is with the Indeedee female and Hawlucha. I have specs on the Indeedee female. So if we don't see the Cinderace, or if we don't see the Whimsicott, actually ideally if we don't see the Whimsicott, we'll be in a pretty good spot. Then we could probably lead the Hawlucha with the Indeedee and do Specs Expanding Force with the Hawlucha's Max Airstream, letting us outspeed the Cinderace and pretty much bring it down to about 10%, which it will then die if it has Life Orb recoil. So not too bad there. Also, you might be expecting the Follow Me into the Indeedee, so might just target the Indeedee hard there. So there is always that too. Not really sure what his best call will be if we do end up going with that Hawlucha lead. We do have Aromatisse, which does pretty much die to most things. So if not Dynamax, it'll be fine, but it does have Focus Sash. So outside of Dynamax, we can probably keep that Focus Sash hidden, but with Dynamax available, especially if he leads with the Lucario beat up strategy with Whimsicott, very rare thing I think he'll do, because I'm going to have Follow Me. Even on that Specs Indeedee, the Follow Me is still there, and I don't think you'd bring the beat up strategy into a Follow Me, although it would break Sash if it did have Sash. Cofferegus, Rotom Fan. Rotom Fan is really one of the things I think are going to come. The Dragalge is something else I could see coming. Dugtrio, Piloswine, Garbodor, and Pikachu. Not really too concerned about the Dragalge. If it does come, I'm expecting to be a V, because I do have the Indeedee with the Psychic Terrain, so it is going to be a little weak there to that. So the idea here is I pumped a lot of defense into the Greedent over anything, because I am going for the Belly Drum set. This set actually allows me to live, surprisingly, a Hydros, Snipe Shot, and avoid that misdirection. Or live it, I should say, as long as if I remember correctly. Now, I'm really uncertain. So let's look at this Greedent. Yeah, I should, and I'm gonna make sure that these stats are correct, because the last thing we want is a Gluttony Greedent not to be able to proc its berry at... Okay, so yeah. Yes. Okay. So berry will proc. We do have this amount into the special defense, and I believe it is a... Yep, it is a offensive nature to help make up for the fact that I actually have no offensive investment. So, I mean, yeah, so 38 to 46, I'm a timid Life Orb. If he is modest Life Orb, it's 42 to 50%. So, with that, there's a chance I don't get the Billy Drum off because of that. If that's the case, then we have Milotic in the back for Dynamaxing. He doesn't really have a lot of answers for the Milotic beyond the Pikachu, and that's going to be a weakness policy Milotic. I mean, besides that, I don't think he has a lot of grass coverage beyond the Whimsicott and the electric coverage from the Rotom. Luckily, we are going to be specially defensive here, because I did put some more into that, so we could do that with the Max Ice, so possibly kill the Rotom depending on the stats that he has in it. which allows me to hit Dragalgi, allows me to hit the Dugtrio Pilot's line. And we do have Max Dragon on it, but that is Breaking Swipe more than anything. I'm using that more if I need to kind of stall at the end with the Ferrothorn. So if I need to reduce any physical output from like Lucario's Close Combat or from Dugtrio, which I could probably just kill the Dugtrio to be honest with a Scald. But anything like that where I think things might not go in a good way, I do have Recover as well, so instead of Protect. But I have 3 Dynamax options here, 1 Stall Wall, 1 Neutral, and we found Ed, or Shadow Ducks, and we're going to get into this. So let's say good luck and have fun. So oh god, I am really nervous about this battle now that I'm starting to think about it, because I haven't done this in a while. Yes, Series 9. So we have our Slap City build. I built this Sunday, and I haven't looked really at it since Sunday. I had to test the Greedent because I accidentally screwed up the EVs. I fixed the Greedent. Also, it doesn't get Rock Slide, it only gets Rollout. So we do have Rollout on the Greedent. Not ideal. We do have Trick Room as well. We do have our faster mode, which next week we will get the Venusaur. That'll give us a different fast mode, so it's going to kind of help with multiple different things. Ooh, I feel nervous. I feel a little sick. I've had a stressful week emotionally. Alright, so we do see the Inteleon, we do see the Cinder. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like Milotic's going to stay in the back, right? So we're going to lead with the Indeedee here. I think we go Greedent game 1. We'll put Pharaoh in the back, and we will Milotic in the back. Because if I don't think Dynamax and Greedent's good here, at least I get a turn. Or maybe 2 turns of stalling out his Dynamax if he goes for a first turn Dynamax. We'll kind of see how he plans on leading this. He can't taunt here, which is nice. The Hydro Snipe is really probably going to be the biggest issue if he leads with the Inteleon. Might be really risky for him too, so he might do Whimsicott. Oh, if he does Helping Hand with that Whimsicott. We'll see. I mean, the nice thing is the Expanding Force will be nice. I can always just hard swap into the Milotic if he does lead with the Indeedee. If he leads with the Indeedee. If he leads with the Inteleon. So we kind of have a game plan. It's not great. Okay, so we have the Whimsicott Cinderace, which is the most predictable lead I could see. Again, not great, but we're not in a terrible situation. So we are going to expect the Indeedee to go down here, and we will just Belly Drum here. So we'll follow me, and we will Belly Drum. The nice thing is we do live a Max Knuckle. He might not realize we are Custap Berry here, which will be nice because that will give us that priority 1 next turn. We can kill the Cinderace regardless of the speed. Bring in the Milotic. Actually, we can just bring in Ferrothorn, start getting set up, kind of go from there, right? Get the Leech Seed out, get the Curse set up, get the Protects. Greedent does its work, can do some special defense increases. So we're looking at the possible 1-hit KO. I gotta lower my volume here, it's really loud. And I'm probably starting to yell. So we got the Helping Hand, so yeah, Indeedee's dead, and that's fine. I didn't expect Indeedee to live here, so we know there is the Helping Hand, so that's going to turn into Max Darkness, which is very interesting, which is fine. Indeedee was dead no matter what. There's really not a lot of bulk invested in it. There's some. It's meant to outspeed by like 1 or 2. So we'll get the Belly Drum off. We'll bring in the Milotic here. It is Life Orb, so that's good to know. So, I mean, this is going to be kind of telling that we have the Custap Berry on it, right? So either he protects here, he knows and he reads that, or he doesn't know, and we kind of go from there. I know a lot of people don't tend to have whatchamacallit. So we're gonna actually just do this with the Whimsicott, so we at least always get some damage here, and we will go for the max strike into the Cinderace. Okay, so this always goes off before Dynamax, which then Dynamax is always before like a Protect, so we still don't know if there's a Max Guard coming out here. I'm really nervous that there's going to be a Max Guard, because that really is going to hurt us, and yeah. But we'll see. So no, and nothing from the Whimsicott, so I'm assuming it's going to be an attack. So we get the Cinderace killed, so we have a really bulky Greedent. We are going to start getting some speed control on the field with this. So we'll go for a Max Quake. And here comes the Ice Beam, so we're probably not going to pick up the KO here because we're not fully invested. So it's Citrus Berry, so if he hits us with an Energy Ball, which there is quite that possibility, we'll just keep firing off. Yes, Energy Ball comes out. We are bulky here, so we can actually recover this turn, which is fine. If we really want, we could. Greedent is -1 special defense, so maybe EQ would be a good idea here. I should have probably, in hindsight, put high horsepower on. To be honest, I didn't really look until later. Rotom. Okay, so we have the Rotom here, so I could switch out the Milotic. I really don't care if I lose the Weakness Policy proc. What do I think he has in the back? Dragalge, Inteleon. So yeah, let's go for the switch into the Ferrothorn. We'll preserve the Milotic. We will go for the Max Rockfall into the Rotom. We already know that the Whimsicott is slower than the Milotic, which is kind of nice here. Will-O-Wisp. That's fine. We should still pick up the KO here, so we get the he gets the Energy Ball off, but we are fine on the Ferrothorn. As we'll get Sand up, he'll get Chip up. Alright, so we don't actually get that KO, but that's okay. Whimsicott's, so we know Energy Ball, we know whatchamacallit, so I think this turn, I mean, I don't really have to worry about the Rotom, do I? Greedent's still here, it's getting burned. We have the leftovers, we're not taking anything from the sand. Most you might try and do is burn the Pharaoh here, so let's go for Protect. So we'll at least reveal the Protect, and then we will go for the Max Strike onto the Whimsicott. So it does have Tickle, but we are still protected by that Psychic Terrain. Yep, that protects us from the Will-O-Wisp. We can just switch in the Milotic into that position next turn. That's not a big deal. Milotic will be faster, so there is that. We will be able to survive a hit, and then we get the Recover off. So Greedent's picked up 2 kills. This will probably be its 3rd after the chip on the Sandstorm. Auto, you'll have to accept that is residual damage that was set up by the Greedent. That does not exist, and this is why I went for that turn. I am joking with Auto. I'm going to keep referencing that for whatever reason. So we do know that the Inteleon is out. We can expect the Greedent to die here. We will just Leech Seed the Inteleon, and we will... I mean, we can Facade here, right? I mean, that's kind of the nice reason that I have Facade on here is for that burn. So he has focus. So we do realize that it is a crit Inteleon, and it's dead. Crit didn't matter. So Greedent just picked up 4 kills. Good job going, Greedent. Okay, so Greedent did a lot better than I thought. Yes, we always take the lead card, and I have to hit A. I'm not on the PlayStation controller. So we receive that card. Whew. Play with the same rules, so we're going into game 2. I mean, so here's the question, right? What does he do to adjust? So we'll begin the battle. I think we lead the same, right? So there's really no reason for me to bring the Hawlucha. We've hidden the choice specs, we have Pharaoh in the back, and we have Milotic. If Greedent doesn't work out, we Dynamax the Milotic, which is good against the whatchamacallit, the Cinderace, which looks to be the primary Dynamax. Ferrothorn will do really well into the Inteleon if he ends up Dynamaxing that. I see him bringing Snipe Shot this turn just to go for the Snipe Shot instead. Cofarigas Dragalge. So, I mean, here's the deal. I don't care if Trick Room goes up. And I'm not going to go for the Follow Me here. If he decides to, I'm just going to, if I die here, I die here. That's really what it's going to come down to. So we're going to just Belly Drum. We are going to go with the Expanding Force into the Dragalge. I'm assuming this is going to be AV, but even this is going to be chunking it pretty decent. It is very especially defensive. Oh, okay, so nice. Okay, so this is putting us into a pretty decent spot. Cofarigas takes over half health. Greedent is going to get the Belly Drum up. So he's setting up Trick Room for me. So either he has to be room service here to outspeed me in Trick Room. I can see the ally switch coming. So the most I might do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to Dynamax. And I'm going to Max Quake the Cofarigas because I am expecting a Will-O-Wisp. And we will just go for the Expanding Force again because we are locked into it with the choice specs. So this will hit the Cofarigas regardless. We will be slower than the Dragalge on the Indeedee, but we should live. Custap Berry is always going to allow me to go first. The Max Quake is going to boost our special defense, so Indeedee should live. And that should put us in a really favorable position. He already used Protect, so we know it's not AV actually, and we saw that's not room service, so that's actually really important information. So what item could it be? It might be Psychic Berry. I don't have a ground for him to really do a Shuka. So he does go for the Dynamax here. I mean, I'm max special defense. So there you go. I'm max special defense with like 148 HP investment. And this is adaptability. It can't be Life Orb. We saw that was on the Cinderace. But we are going to get +1 to our special defense. So Cofarigas is dead. I just didn't want to get burnt while I was in Dynamax. Just because I'd rather have max attack damage during this time. So Max Whirlwind, that's going to just lower me by 1 attack, which is unfortunate. We do actually take that nicely, so we can go for another Max Quake, because I really don't want to slow anything down. I could see a Max Guard come out here. We do have the Expanding Force, and that is going to chunk. So it is weakness policy. I mean, I'm not overly concerned. Really, the Cinderace is, if he brings in Cinderace, that's what's got to die. Then that gives us free reign with the Ferrothorn and the endgame. So he brings out the Whimsicott. Expanding Force is really all I need here. So we are going to go ahead. We will Max Quake into the Dragalge again. We will Expanding Force again. Expecting the Max Guard here, because why not? Helping Hand. So this thing is not getting an attack off. This is going to take out his Dynamax. We are the slowest thing on the field with the Greedent. And this is going to be full damage to the Whimsicott because it's not split. So this puts us in a really, really good position. Essentially, I think this is cinching up the game because I still have one more turn of Dynamax. I'm +5, not +6. Greedent is an absolute unit and an absolute monster. Sam Wakeman just noticed that Greedent is 100% better than Cinderace. And Greedent's the same kills as Crustle. Oh my god. Alright, so, I mean, yeah, Milo takes care of the Cinderace regardless, so we'll just Max Strike, because when Trick Room's up, this will give us the speed, and we're just going to Expanding Force again. Sucker Punch, but we do have the, whatchamacallit, oh, that's actually pretty good. With the Psychic Terrain, I can't hit, but the Max Strike is going to go ahead and pick up this kill. So actually, Greedent is now my kill leader. Crit did not matter. Whew. GG's, Ed. I'm really glad I did the last minute calcs there on the Hawlucha, because I'm assuming you had Max Airstream on that Cinderace, and it probably would have went completely different. But really good match. Thank you for the game, Ed. Best luck in your next matches coming up. Alright, bye everyone.